even in MAGA world and in conservative circles. But he doesn't even know that. You don't know that Massey's the principled conservative. You don't know that that's the worst guy to target. And they don't. He's flying by the seat of his pants. And so, but by the way, I also have experience with Democrats gaslighting. They told us, oh, no. The Democratic leadership knows exactly what they're doing. They're playing four-dimensional chess. You simpletons don't understand it. You see, if you run someone who's super old and has dementia, they'll seem young and dynamic. I'm like, no, you don't know anything. It's all Wizard of Oz. The minute you pull back the curtain on Democratic leaders or Republican leaders, they're all fools.
So let me put a scenario to you. Because what Trump did in the first term, before the pandemic, was get the economy purring pretty nicely by common agreement. Here's a different scenario too, that within 6 months, he's got peace in Ukraine, he's got peace in the Middle East.
Trump has no idea what Trump is doing, let alone Elon. Where is Donald Jr. and Ivanka during all of this debacle? Have they washed their hands of Daddy Dearest? Make sure to subscribe and give us a like. We are trying to build a progressive platform. We have too many conservatives flooding the market. Help us fight the good fight.
He's won the Nobel Peace Prize, or should certainly be nominated for it, because Obama got one for doing something that no one can even today tell me what he deserved it for. And the economy is, well, after all the tariff mayhem and everything else, is beginning to really purr as it did in his first term. I mean, that could happen.
He could also win the Super Bowl and the World Cup. Okay, but that's your rosy hypothetical.
All those three things could still happen.
So, look, no, there's one that definitely cannot happen, which is peace in the Middle East. There is a plan that I've told you about on this show many times where he agrees with what the Arab League says, easy path to peace in the Middle East. But the reason we can't have it is because Israel doesn't want peace. So they want to grab Gaza and the West Bank. So there's no chance Israel's going to say yes to peace. So that one's foreclosed. Ukraine and Russia, look, if he actually got it done, though, Ukraine-Russia peace, and he really got a two-state solution, of course he would deserve a Nobel Peace Prize. And yes, Obama shouldn't have gotten one, but we told
Why did he get one?
Two wrongs don't make a right, because they were so hyped up. They were so anti-Bush and Cheney, the whole world was, and they were right? And now even the Republicans agree, and Trump agrees, and Bush and Cheney were a disaster. The minute anyone came in, it could have been Mickey Mouse. They'd be like, Nobel Peace Prize for not attacking a random Middle Eastern country. So that's why he got it, but he didn't deserve it, and he did the drones, et cetera. But the caveat's important. What Trump does is he A/B tests everything. So he'll try something, and then if it doesn't work, he'll say, oh, I'm doubling down the tariffs on Canada. Oh, the stock market crash? No, I'm not. I said I'm doing only 25%. And he keeps flip-flopping because that's what he's always done, because he doesn't have principles. He's just trying to find out what's popular.
Well, he's also a deal maker. I mean, Winston, this thing about Trump I think people often forget or deliberately choose to forget is that at his gut, everything's a deal. Everything's transactional. I think he genuinely does want to make America great. I don't dispute that for a moment. How he does it is the way he sells real estate, or used to, right? Is that everything's up for negotiation.
He's a pragmatist, but is also a disruptor. And I think that what we're seeing, as we speak right now, the stock market's come down, although I think it's only just past where it was before it got the bump before his election win back in November. He disrupts the market and he messes about with things. And, you know, look at Ukraine. As we talk, he has got, the Ukrainians have agreed to a ceasefire, and it's up to the Russians now to come to the table. After everything we saw at the Oval Office, all of the...
And I was asked about that, because I actually spoke to Trump the morning before the Oval Office bust up. That morning I spoke to him. And
I really can't wrap my head around the fact that so many Trump supporters think this administration is transparent and not corrupt. This whole government is an idiocracy. Donald just signs executive orders without even knowing what he is signing.
I was asked afterwards, well, come on then, you know, this is obviously the end of any chance of peace there, and he's humiliated. I went, why don't you just hang on a bit, right? Because there's clearly a bit of method to the madness
Well,
here.
likewise with the...
And it turned out I was right? Because they've been in Saudi Arabia, they've got an agreement from Zelensky, he's going to go back and see Trump in the White House. I just think with Trump, sometimes everybody throws their toys out of a stroller way too quickly. Just see what the plan is and see if it works. If it doesn't work, hammer him.
Likewise with all the upset about the Gaza plan, the idea that America would take over, that goes completely against his America First MAGA principles. And certainly he doesn't want to embroil America into some sort of New Deal. But look what's happened since. The Arab nations have come together and said, no, we don't want America looking after it. And they've put together this, what is it, $53 billion Gaza rebuild plan.
No, it may not work, Cenk. I'm not saying for a moment all this is going to work. I just think when people look at Trump and think he doesn't know what he's doing, as you said, it's all chaos, blah, blah. I honestly don't believe that is the case. He's got some very smart people around him, not least Elon Musk. And wherever people think of Musk, when they say he's stupid, they're the stupid ones. He's one of the most brilliant minds in America. Now, he's a little odd, there's no question. By his own admission, he's a bit autistic. He doesn't behave in the way that we might normally expect our political leaders to behave, and he kind of is a political leader in a way. But what he's doing with Doge, for example, I imagine that resonates very well with most Americans.
The idea of finding ways fraud and abuse has been popular forever and ever. And in fact, Al Gore actually did a pretty good job in finding a lot of waste, fraud, and abuse during the Clinton administration. They cleaned it out, and Clinton was the last president to balance the budget. So there is waste, fraud, and abuse there. The place you would start is subsidies. There's like $30 billion in oil subsidies. It's just nothing but a robbery. I can show you robbery after robbery. Corporations pay money to politicians, and they get subsidies out. I despise it. So if that's what they did, they would be intensely popular. But what did he do instead? Oh, I'm just going to cut a whole bunch of people that came in last. I'm going to fire a whole bunch of people without even looking. And then that made it really unpopular. They've somehow found a way to make fighting fraud, waste, and abuse unpopular. It's now at 37% and dropping in terms of Doge's popularity. So there's a right way to do it and a wrong way to do it. I mean, you can make excuses about autistic, et cetera, but I need a brother who can think through a plan. Both Musk and Trump are like, I'll just throw it up against the wall and see what sticks. Oh, that one stuck.
Is Elon Musk...
Caroline Levitt told us that Musk would excuse himself if there ever was a conflict of interest. Would love to know how she can provide an explanation for what transpired on the White House lawn then. You have Elon Musk, technically now a government employee to the president, on government time, advertising his company's cars while on government grounds, and selling one to the President of the United States.
Is he underestimating the difference between, or misunderstanding the difference between the business world, in which he's been all-conquering, and the political world? In other words, some things may make completely logical business sense, but from a political standpoint, if you start to see the polls massively responding negatively, Trump's a politician now. He's not going to let that slide for very long.
Yeah, that's why he reined him in. So that's why I say he does A/B testing. He tries one thing. If it doesn't work, he goes to the next thing. And by the way, that is, to be fair to your point of view, that is a bit of a plan.
Yeah.
It's a plan to say, well, look, I don't really know what's going to work, but I'll try this. And if it doesn't work, I'll retract.
Well, what I think he's doing, Winston, I think he's trying to force action to be taken to resolve things that have been unresolvable, right? The Ukraine war. You know, I spoke to him a couple of weeks before he got inaugurated, and he was telling me that the Pentagon has said 100,000 people had died on the battlefield in the previous 6 weeks. 100,000. Oh, it's on both sides, right? He said it was based like a World War I killing field, with flat fields, and they're just killing each other all day long. And he said it has to stop. Now, you know, did he have the one-day fix? Of course, he didn't. No, I don't think anyone thought he did. Has what he's done since hastened a potential settlement? I would argue it has. He's got Zelensky to agree to the parameters of a peace arrangement. He's got to persuade Putin. That's the big test. We'll see if Putin goes along with it, or what Trump does to Putin to make him go along with it. But I do see method there to what he's doing. Same with Israel. We're going to come to the Israel-Gaza situation a little later. But I do see, you know, like the tariffs. He's always been on about tariffs, Trump.
Tariffs is his favourite word.
I've known Trump 20 years. He's always had a bee in his bonnet about tariffs and about other countries ripping America off. And so he's saying, right,